Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Paradigm Paradox. Going to start our new route today, so I'm going to start skipping. We are obviously starting from the beginning. We're going to do Yukonami's route. That was like the bell in there, right? That was so loud. I started recording this and I realized I'm like, why is it so? Why is it? Was it just that? Was it just the theme song? The sound effects are loud. Damn, the sound effects are loud. I never noticed how loud the damn sound effects are as I'm looking over and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is everything so fucking loud? And I'm only at, no, that's right. Okay. No, my sound, I was just looking at the sound things and they just seem totally freaking off. Anyway, not the point. We're going to do Yukonami because I figured out of the two bad boys, well, it said in the guide Hyuga equals Yukonami, and we've seen Yukonami more often in the first two routes, and I feel like Mihaya's route kind of led nicely into, okay, I'm like, it says go to town! Where the fuck is go to town? Here it is. It led nicely into doing, oh, see, you got the little thing over there on the right-hand side. Okay, so if it's on the left, that shows you're in the good boy route, and if you're going to the right, okay. So their little symbol-y thing is exactly the same. So there's nothing different there. Let's just read this and then we'll get back into my thought process. I made it to the financial district, but it's crowded as usual. Can't find anyone here. That guy over there, I saw him yesterday, right? I immediately spotted one of the hood guys. One of the hood guys! Just because he's wearing a hood, but it just sounds so wrong. He meandered over while I was contemplating whether or not he was the same person I'd seen. Like, he's kind of adorable, don't get me wrong. Oh! Yay, because I made eye contact. Does he remember me from yesterday? Hey! Any good grub around here? Something that'll satisfy my sweet tooth. Yeah, I don't think he remembers. If he's craving sugar, I bet he'd like that drink Lizzie and I tried yesterday. Don't be weird. I don't know what you're doing. Don't get feisty. That new shop they opened up over there sells some great drinks. They're sweet, too. Really? Alright, I'm getting one. And there he goes. Bit of a space cadet. Okay. So my thought process was I want to save Ayumu and Tokyo for later because I like them a little bit better than Hyuga and Yukonami, just like eyeball-wise, personally. So I was like, let's just get Hyuga and Yukonami kind of, I hate to say, out of the way. Jesus Christ! Okay, hold on a second. Why? Has it always been this way, guys? No, not that. Jesus Christ, the sound effects are so motherfucking loud. And what the hell is the rest of the fucking noise? What the hell is happening? I never realized how fucking loud the sound effects were, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Like, all of a sudden I'm looking over and I'm like, Jesus, they're, like, wicked loud. And then I just keep hearing noises. Something is going on, like, I can't, okay. Anyway, I'm assuming we go to town again. Yeah, okay. Based on the other two routes that we did. Oh, whoops, I meant to go to next, not return. Ah, I get it. So the return is like, go to one of those places, because those are the good boy routes, and then if you go next, these are the bad boy routes. Okay. I wonder if the hallway is, Ibuki, because, you know? Anyway, well, here I am in town. They're girls, so they should be into shopping, right? Oh, right, we're looking for the girls. I can't picture them chatting over, oh yeah, I can't picture them chatting over drinks at some cafe, though. There's that guy I met in town the other day. He's still wearing that hood. Where'd you wander off to? Is he looking for someone? Maybe the person was with him the other day. Should I offer to help? Haha, over there. He's gone. I'm amazed he can spot anyone in this crowd. He must have keen eyesight. Well, half vector, right? But anyway, so I figured doing that, and then in Mihaya's route, we kind of went into Tao, we saw everyone, and we've seen Yukonami a lot more. So I felt like it lent into, okay, doing one of the bad guy routes and doing Yukonami before Hyuga, and then going through Yukonami will be... I'm assuming we say thank you this time. Yeah, okay. Well, that's true, because that doesn't... Rio's one of the bad guys, anyway. Thank you. You're really observant, aren't you, Rio? Just part of my job. No need to thank me. I see. I was under the impression he was cold, but he just seems mature beyond his years. He didn't try to be distant. He just carried himself with the dignity of a grown adult. My opinion of him had definitely changed. It's really concerning when you're saying things like this, because we're going to romance this guy at some point, and that's just a little odd is all I'm saying. The commander's like a friendly puppy, so maybe Rio's just quiet by comparison. That said, the commander is definitely more... unique. Yeah, he is, and that's why I love him to death. Anyway, let's see. We go to the outer wall. I think it's because my TV volume's on, it sounds so loud. Which is why I normally keep it muted, but I really love the theme song, so. The Great Wall partitions the districts, and it's a vital component for public safety. This is probably the most important area in the colony. I'm often here on missions for the Blooms, so I better make sure to learn all I can. Looks like we're headed that way. Yep, let's go. Look, Lizzie's not dead yet. You. Did someone say something to me? Hey, you. Come here. I turned toward their voice and spotted two familiar-looking figures standing a short distance away. I assumed it was Yukonami speaking to us, but it could have been Hyuga. I can't really tell one hooded shadow from the other, even though Yukonami's has a little more like a little bulge on the right, and Hyuga's is a little, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know which one of their shadows it was at the time. Are those the guys I bumped into in town? I think they're calling to me. Can't you hear me? This could be an emergency. Don't dawdle. Okay, so he was the one talking to us. I just can't go running over. Why call for me anyway? I guess my uniform makes it clear I'm a student. No one else is here and they seem anxious. What's this emergency anyway? I guess I could hear them out. Oh, look, and then we get a CG of the two of them. There you go, our two new boyfriends. I kind of like that, though, that, like, doing the business district gave us... Oh, Jesus, motherfucking Christ. No, I'm not answering your spam calls. Fucking A. Why is it every time I sit down to record, this fucking shit doesn't leave me alone? Like, we got our first two boyfriends. Now we're gonna get these two. Like, you know what I mean? And we get the CGs with them. So you know the other option when we go on our other field trip is gonna be Ayumu in Tokyo. So that's gonna be fun. Anyway, can I help you? I'm not sure who's talking. Look at that! Wide open, vulnerable. I feel like that was more Hyuga should have been. What? Oh no, this sounds more like Yukonami, though, laughing. Nothing. More importantly, does the wall up there look busted to you? The guy pointed to a spot up high. I narrowed my eyes and tried to get a better look, but... I guess maybe there's a tiny crack? But I'm not exactly qualified to decide what counts as real damage. Yeah, I guess that's a bit concerning. I'm actually on a field trip right now, so I'll let the teacher know about it. Well, better go do that then. Okay, excuse me. I'm just assuming Yukonami. That's just easier. I hurried over to the teacher at a brisk jog. I threw a quick glance over my shoulder as I went, but the two men had seemingly vanished. And we're going to write to Uncle Yashima, who might be a shady character. I should sit there. I wonder who we say I don't know about. Because obviously, the humans obviously is for our good boys. I would assume maybe vectors for the bad boys, but what does I don't know ever mean? Oh, this is I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I can't say I've thought very much about which species deserves the world or anything like that. Vectors attack humans, yes, but they're trying to survive like us. I don't think it's right to say the world's meant for humans only. Vectors are trying to survive, You still don't know anything, do you? Does she look sad? No. Okay. Oh, and another thing I noticed watching the theme, right, the thing that I pointed out with the guy that's like a character we haven't met who kind of looks devious and shady and evil, but it's like superimposed with like her computer screen and everything, and like the only time we ever see her computer is when she's emailing Uncle Yashima. It also has like a little like the email icon and then like a ding, like you got an email right when that character, and it's like that's the only time, and it's like, so now I'm like wondering, is he shady? Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know. Well, the character that they show is definitely shady, but now I'm wondering if that's Uncle you know what I mean? And it's not the commander, right? My original thought, so I'm like, I'm getting more sus of that. So I'm assuming we speak to Moravia. Yep. Ding! Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to reason with the enemy? Forget that! Attack! Right. She's right. That was a stupid idea. I need to focus on the battle right now. Do we? Okay. And then there's Lizzie, Rio. We're gonna go doing lots of stuff. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway. I'm assuming we say I'm worried about Lizzie. I'm just assuming we're gonna do the opposite. I'm worried about Lizzie. Do we save her in this? I have to find her as soon as possible, but what if there are loads of vectors and I can't fight them all alone? You know what would be fucking amazing? And just really fuck you up is if you save Lizzie in this when you go down the bad boy path and she's not dead. That would make you question everything, right? You'd be like, I'm on the side of the good guys and she dies, and if I'm on the side of the bad guys, she lives, and fuck. Like, how fucking... What kind of a moral conundrum would you be in? Oh my god. That'd be brilliant. I don't know if they did that, but that would have been brilliant. My heart heavy with foreboding, I started running at top speed. Or at least we don't kill her vector persona. So technically she's alive, but she's not really, you know? That would be still, though. The route from the school looked completely different to how I remembered it. Okay, I'm assuming, yeah. All of the buildings have been destroyed. If Lizzie's still here... Imagining the worst-case scenario terrified me, but Lizzie was nowhere to be found. The entire area seemed to be deserted. But I saw the vectors when I was on the roof. Did they go somewhere else? But I couldn't breathe a sigh of relief yet. Even though Lizzie wasn't here, others might still be injured. I should check in town. I ran to the financial district, which was also in shambles. How awful. Wait, was that a vector? Somebody saying, now get a move on! That's... I recognize that voice. Moravia! Well, look who it is. And I dare say, alone. Pretty reckless move. You must be awfully confident. Hyuga and Yukonami... A chill ran down my spine when I saw Hyuga and Yukonami step out from behind Moravia. I couldn't take on all three by myself. Retreating was my best bet. I checked for an escape route, but then noticed numerous people collapsed on the ground. They've all been attacked by the vectors. Wait, what's that? Lizzie! I didn't believe it at first, but I couldn't tear my eyes away. When the reality sunk in, I ran over to the figure on the ground. Okay, so is this like kind of be where... are we at the point where it splits, maybe? Like, we find her and they're like, oh wait, that's your friend. Let's take both of you back to Tao. You know, knocks that girl up me. Take him back to Tao and then show you what happens, because you know what I mean? Lizzie was gravely injured. I tried to prop her up and got blood all over my hands. No, okay, this is going to be completely different. Lizzie! I have to get help. Quite careless of you to turn your back on us. Or are you throwing the fight? I turned and saw Moravia standing right next to me. Did you do this? I swear I'll make you pay! My voice shook as I put protective armor on Lizzie, but my words had no effect. You'll make us pay? We've been fighting all this time, and yet you're only worked up now? No one besides us got hurt before. But today, Lizzie, you won't get away with doing this to my friend! Now I see. You can't stand it when people close to you are hurt. Moravia spoke in a detached way, as if the horrors before us had nothing to do with her. You can't stand it because she's your friend? How naive. kind of attitude won't protect the whole colony. Hey, what do you mean by friend? I don't get it at all. Hyuga and Yukonami made it clear they couldn't care less about my rage. Talking to them further wouldn't solve anything. It's like Hyuga still has some connection to his, like, human emotions, I feel like, and Yukonami just fucking clueless. I have to fight, but I'm the only one here. How am I supposed to attack while also protecting everyone who's hurt? Attack them head on, attempt an ambush, run away. I don't think an ambush is going to work because they see us, so I think that implies that we get a little bit of an upper hand, which we do not have. So it's either attacking them head on, which seems kind of stupid, but also might be pertinent for this route. You know, like, oh, she's ballsy. Yeah, you know, knock me out, drag me back to their cave. Or running away is also applicable, which, you know, I really have no idea. I'm assuming one is a different answer for each one of them, so. You know, Yukonami would be the head-on kind of one, I'm assuming. To villainous justice. We attempted ambush. Alright. I focused on Moravia and the others. I like how that was just, like, static and, like, gray. You're like, what the hell was that? Take that! My, that wasn't bad at all. Looks like you can fight all by yourself. I tried to catch her off guard, but Moravia easily blocked my attack. No time for disappointment. I can't give them an opening. I have to keep going. I couldn't tell how much time had passed. I just fought on desperately, my senses dulling as I inched closer to my limit. Maybe it was a little reckless for me to go it alone. I stopped attacking directly a little while ago and tried to focus solely on evasion, but I kept taking more and more hits. Hyuga fired a bullet that grazed my leg. Pain radiated out from the wound, and I stumbled when I tried to take a step. I'm assuming because we're at the villainous justice this would be like a split where we're going to end up in Tau as opposed to, like, continuing on where we normally do. Wait, where are the vectors? I heard them, but they're clearly not here. Are they attacking people somewhere else? At this rate, more people will get hurt. But I absolutely can't give up here, you know what I mean? Where we have the point where when we see Lizzie and then we have to kill her and then we talk to our boyfriend. You know that? Like, this I feel like is a branching path, so this is going to be a lot different. Hey, mind if I finish her off? I'm getting bored playing around. Yukonami, no. I've told you before, we can't kill her. We still haven't fully figured things out yet. Figured what out? Fine, but I'm seriously bored. I'll catch y'all later. Wait! I was sure Yukonami would cause more havoc if I let him go. I tried to stop him, but I collapsed due to the pain in my leg. It looks like you've reached your limit. I guess it's time for us to take our leave. Come on, Hyuga. Oh, maybe it's not totally different. Okay, I figured they were going to take me. What? You sure you want to leave things like this? She'll be fine. We'll meet again. And with that, Moravia stopped fighting and left. I won't let you get away! I tried to stand up and stop them, but it was like all the strength had left my body. As I held back tears and tried to keep going, I heard a familiar voice call out. I found her! Over here! I'm assuming it's Kaori, I don't know. Oh, well, no, it was Sena. Or the commander, one of them. The blooms flew to my aid, and for some reason the commander and Rio were with them. This is terrible. You're in bad shape. We need to get you help right away. Never mind me. People in town are hurt, including my friend. She was attacked by the Vectors and is badly injured. Also, Moravia and her minions were here. We have to go after them, although make things worse. We have to... I attempted to move, but Kaori held me back. She gave me a reassuring nod. Don't worry. The three of us will go after him. Will the two of you take care of everyone who's hurt? Yeah, I'll call for help. It shouldn't take the ambulance long. I was like, did they show up the last time? Maybe, but not. And then we'll be going. Yeah. Please protect everyone in town. We shall take care of it. You should get some rest. After they left, an ambulance came and started transporting everyone who was injured. I'll go with them. I should be with my friend. Yeah, I understand how you feel, but I can't allow that. You're hurt, so you need to worry about yourself. But... the commander's right. We need to get you patched up, and you still have to give us a report of what happened. You're back. What happened with Moravia? Kaori had returned so quickly, she must not have confronted them. She just shook her head. They got away as usual. They certainly know how to make a quick escape. Was anyone else hurt? And were there any vectors left? I know, Bird. What the fuck was that? Why is there so many noises everywhere in this house right now?
I took care of most of them before we found you. Sana and Mocha are patrolling just in case, but they're likely all gone now.
At least that was a relief. Haruka offered her hand to me.
Can you stand? I'll help you back to the command center.
Yeah, thanks. I was still worried about Lizzie, but as Kaori said, I had to give my report, so I tried to focus on that. I guess we are going to go down the same... Oh no, this is different too. We returned to the command center and Rio treated my injury. Once Sana and Mocha were back, I told them what happened. For a hot second, my brain malfunctioned and I couldn't remember Kaori's voice.
I see. So by the time you arrived, everyone had already been attacked.
That's right.
It wasn't wise to go off on your own, but I know you were worried about your friend. I'm just glad you're not seriously hurt.
I'm sorry for taking off by myself, but I appreciate you all coming to help me. Why, of course we would. We are friends, after all. And with that aside, it appears that the Vectors attack people all over. Yeah, there weren't any Vectors remaining in town, but a lot of people had been attacked and left unconscious. I knew it. They did hurt more people. Yes, I called for assistance immediately and had them transported, but that makes your situation rather odd compared to the others.
Why was she the only one to get away with minor injuries?
Well, it's because you can fight, right? You fought back and didn't get hurt as bad.
And that's certainly a part of it, but remember, she could barely stand by the time we got there.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think they could have finished you off whenever they wanted. Kaori's words made me remember what Moravia had said. Kaori's right. Yukinami wanted to kill me, but Moravia stopped him for some reason. She said they hadn't fully figured things out yet. I'm not sure what that means, though. That was also the time they made contact with you specifically. Oh, there was also that time, sorry. It's obvious Moravia's fixated on you. The commander had been listening quietly, but spoke up as we began to piece together all the information. Rio and I will speak with the higher-ups about this as well. Even though Sana warned us in advance, we failed to take advantage of it. And now we've got major damages and all the citizens are distraught. And we need to fix things before it's too late. But once we've made a plan, we'll summon you all again. Just remain alert until then. Everyone nodded, and the commander and Rio began to leave. I still had something to ask, though. Just one more thing. Can I go check on Lizzie? I'm worried about her. The commander frowned. I'm sorry, but we were told earlier that all injured parties were sent to the ICU and can't receive any visitors. No visitors? I knew that her injuries were serious, but hearing that made me extra worried. You wouldn't be able to see her even if you went. Just focus on your own recovery. I only did a little first aid. You should go to a hospital if it starts hurting again tomorrow. Rio's right. I'll make sure to tell you when they allow visitors. Until then, rest up and get better. I clearly couldn't press the matter further. All right, but please tell me the second they do. I'll go at once. Will do. I decided it was best to be patient and drag my injured self back to the dorm. Okay, this is totally different now. Yeah, when I got back, I booted up my computer and saw that Uncle Yashima had sent me a concerned message. Sounds like he was really worried. Though his message made me happy, I was too distracted thinking about Lizzie to write back. Wait, if I'd only gotten there sooner... No, I shouldn't have told her to go home right away. Wait a minute. So, like, it shows, like, so what I'm talking about, like, in the thing, it, like, shows this screen, like, zoomed in just on her computer, just the background, so nothing, like, it's just her window, basically. And then you see the email, and on the right side is the character kind of superimposed, and then you see, bing, like, you got a message, and then that's it. That's the only time you see that, and the only time you see that character, and I was like, are they, like, you know... And totally the way he looks is like, oh, you have, like, he's got red eyes and just a sinister face. Still pretty, don't get me wrong, but you are so sinister, sir. Like, so fucking devious. And, like, they never show him any other time because they go through all the characters and they show the side characters. So they show Masaki, they show Gramps, they show Lizzie, and they show another girl we haven't met yet, who I'm assuming is probably a side character we'll meet. Oh, actually, wait, I think Ayumu has a sister. So that could be her. Like, they show her, or is she's a character that we might meet when we defect and go to Tao, you know what I mean? In this. But, like, they show them, but they don't show this white-haired dude. So, like, I feel like they want him to be, like, a super secret side character, but now you got me thinking, like, you know? Why was Lizzie in town? If she were going to the dorm, she would have taken the path through the residential district, not the business district. There's only one reason I could think of for her taking that route. Was she headed to the cafe we were going to go to? I could easily imagine Lizzie wanting to surprise me. Maybe she thought she'd just buy some cake and then head back to the dorm. Oh, because you were wondering, like, you told her to go back, it's her birthday, we can't spend time with you, you have to go back to the dorm. And then she's in town, and at least in this route, you get this little bit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we told her we were busy and we couldn't, and, like, she has to go back because of the vectors, so she thought... But, like, weren't the vectors in the middle of attacking or something? So, like, why did she not go back? Like, I don't know. I don't remember if it was we were just like, no, you have to go because we hadn't told everyone about the vectors. And then they attacked, so she wouldn't have known, as opposed to, like, after this attack. This was the one that spurned the, okay, now everyone knows about the vectors because they attacked during the day. Whoopsie doozle. Like, whoopsie doodles. You know what I mean? Shucksy doodles. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, whoopsie doozles? Like, shucksy doodles and whoops daisy. Not whoopsie doodles. Shucks a daisy. Like, whoopsie doodles just doesn't work. Jesus, that's painful. Anyway, you know what I mean? Okay. Anyway. But that was all speculation. I wouldn't know till I asked her. But one thing's for sure, I should have explained the situation to Lizzie better. There was a lot I couldn't tell her because of the Bloom's rules, but there had to be a better way. What if this was all my fault? Those thoughts circled around and around in my mind the entire night. So, and then this is like sowing more seeds of doubt as opposed to you didn't have time to really think about it. You just got there, you killed her, and then you're like, what the hell? And you were like, yeah, sure, you were in your head and debating, but you also had the guilt on top of it. Now you just have the guilt to kind of swirl around and to give these thoughts and like you to think about it. You don't have the grief of losing your friend weighing you down and kind of mucking up the waters where that's going to take over. So like, if you had the two that like, oh my God, I feel so bad and guilty about everything that happened, but then you also have this grief of losing your friend, that grief is going to kind of overshadow everything. And the guilt is going to be like, I am the one that killed her. I did that, like whatever. You're not thinking like this, where you're sitting there like, huh, maybe I should have told her. And like, maybe we're going down the wrong path, where it's going to lead down a different thought process path than, oh my God, my friend is gone and I killed her. That's a totally different kind of guilty negative thought path. So it's interesting because now they're doing this and it's like, okay, and that's going to lead to, I'm sure we're going to find out that she turns into a vector. Maybe we still end up killing her, but we've already now sowed these seeds of doubt in our mind before the guilt comes in. You know what I mean? These didn't have time to be planted with all the guilt. They're there, but we didn't have time to plant them and sow them before the guilt came in and the trauma of our friend dying. But now we have all these like questions in our mind. Interesting. Okay. And maybe Lizzie just stays alive as a vector, which is then like, I mean, you could say like she's better off dead, but the vectors don't want to hurt anyone. They're like, what? I'm just minding my business, you know? So like, going down this path is kind of like, well, people turn into vectors. That doesn't mean they deserve to be murdered. You know what I mean? Like, so even though Lizzie is going to be a vector, she's not dead. She's not really, like, Lizzie is dead, but Lizzie isn't dead. The vector Lizzie is still alive now. She's like a new form. So, like, that's an interesting, like, conundrum. Is Lizzie dead or not? Because, like, the Lizzie you knew that had, you know, thoughts in her head that could communicate with you is totally gone. But her body still exists in this form of some other living creature that is now roaming around that eats, breathes, thinks, sorta. Maybe not the same as a human, but it still has my bird still thinks. Totally different than a human, does not have human logical thought, but he's still a thinking, living, breathing creature. You know what I mean? So now Lizzie is not Lizzie, but she's still a thinking, breathing, living creature. You know what I mean? Doesn't have human sentience, but that doesn't mean she's not a living being. So now you're going to be like, Lizzie's gone, but this creature exists, and it's not actually a rampaging monster. And now, you know what I mean? So she's technically, in a way, kind of sort of still alive in this route. So it's now it's like, it's doing what I was like, that'd be genius. Lizzie doesn't die, and then you're like, Lizzie's not dead, and then you're in the bad guy route, and you're like, but Lizzie's alive. But in the good guy route, she's dead, and that's this whole moral conundrum. But it's like, she's not really alive, but she still is. So that's like a little moral conundrum on top of a moral conundrum. Fun! Hey, you know what? I don't know if they thought about it that way. Like, let's do it and stack it like this and see. Or, you know what I mean? Because again, things go by kind of fast. It's written a little, I don't want to say simply. I feel like the writing's pretty decent. You know what I mean? But it's kind of quick, and it's not like, okay, let's sit here like me for like 3 hours and discuss this topic and our thoughts on it and analyze it. They didn't put as much of like the let's delve into it and get into the lore and let's twine all these threads together and tie everything and do all that. They didn't really do that. They're like, let's keep it simple, straightforward. Here's the thing, whatever. But like, it still doesn't mean that there's not like complex, like moral conundrums in here. They just kind of throw them at you, and they're like, okay, so Lizzie's like gonna be a vector, and then like you're not gonna kill her in this route. So have fun with that. And it's simple, and you are left to be like, wait, and like overthinking it, you know? And maybe you don't. Maybe you're just joining along. Okay, great, Lizzie's a monster, and you don't overthink it. You know, you can still enjoy it either way, but everywhere hurts. Maybe it's worse because I didn't sleep. I received word that the academy would be closed for a while, so that meant I could go to the hospital early. I'd just be anxious and regretting things if I stayed in the dorm, so it was better to get out. Rio even said I should go to the hospital to get my injuries looked at. Oof. There weren't many people outside because of what happened yesterday. Those I did encounter all wore gloomy expressions. Yeah, like, look at the damage, damn. Walking around town would just make me feel miserable, so I tried to hurry along. Then I overheard a conversation between some passersby. Not at the hospital. So it's been the same for you? I went yesterday to look for my relatives, but they weren't at any of the hospitals. I thought they would have been taken to the ones over there if they got hurt. Huh. My mind immediately jumped to Lizzie when I heard their conversation. If their relatives got hurt yesterday, why wouldn't they be at a hospital? I literally saw ambulances transporting everyone who'd been hurt away from the scene. That's why I was certain they'd be at one. Excuse me, are you talking about people who got injured yesterday? My friend's one of them. They're really not at any of the hospitals? My increasing sense of alarm prompted me to call out to the two people. They were surprised but sympathetic. Oh, I see. My little brother was hurt, but I don't know where he is right now. Someone saw them being put into an ambulance, so I went to that hospital this morning, but he wasn't there. Oh, so that's the same person, sorry. The person pointed to the hospital I was headed to. It was the largest general hospital in Theta. Same thing happened to me. I went to the other hospitals, but they said no one like that was brought in. I see. I'm gonna keep looking, but... Oh, wait, you're injured, aren't you? Make sure you take care of yourself. Yeah, thanks. Don't go missing. My unease grew tenfold after that. I decided to head to the hospital and gather more information while getting treated. Those people were right. We've gotten a lot of calls about this, but all I can say is that our hospital didn't receive any injured patients yesterday. I've no idea where they could have been sent. Maybe the other big hospital in the business district? That's all I can think of. It didn't seem like he was lying, and besides, he'd have no reason to. I went over what happened again. The injured people were put in an ambulance, and then the commander said no visitors were allowed. Where did he say they were taken? No, I don't think he mentioned a specific place. I may not have asked, but he knew I was worried about Lizzie, so why not tell me the hospital right up front? He could have just forgotten to mention it, but if not, why hide it on purpose? A small sense of doubt crept into my mind. I quickly pushed it away, not wanting to know where it would lead if I pried further. The doubt kept coming back, and each time I tried to ignore it. Before I knew it, I'd walked all the way to the outer wall. I thought I was going back to the dorm. I must be really out of it. Moravia and her group always jumped over the outer wall and infiltrating each area. I wonder if they did the same yesterday. Perhaps that's what brought me here. I better head back. Wait. I thought I was talking to myself, so I was shocked to receive a response. I turned around to see who it was. I'm assuming it's Moravia, or Ibuki. No, it's Moravia. I was wondering if, Ibuki was going to show up in his normal form. Moravia! Theta's uninvited guest was back again. I struck a battle stance, but Moravia kept her distance and smiled at me. It's just me today. What? I didn't sense any maliciousness from her, which threw me off. I also remembered the way she'd asked if I was alone yesterday. You trying to continue where we left off? I like how she strikes a battle stance. She's like, you want to continue where we left off? I'll punch you. I'll punch you, bitch. I like it. We're probably going to get our ass handed to us, but at least we got spunk, you know? Well, I did say we'd meet again. The conversation wasn't going how I thought, which made me let down my guard a little. I still checked my surroundings to be sure, but I didn't sense anyone nearby. It seemed like she really was alone. I don't get her. She said a lot of strange things before, too. Who truly deserves this world? Humans or vectors? She's certainly peculiar, but one thing is certain, Lizzie and everyone in town were hurt because of her. Right when I decided I'd have to fight, Moravia spoke up. Looks like you're unsure of a few things. Correct, am I? She'd pinpointed a tiny kernel of doubt I had in about the commander. Oh, I was so shocked I nearly stopped breathing. I love him. Look, if we were going to date an adult, why couldn't we bang that man? That's all I'm saying. Moravia continued, seeing that I wasn't going to attack for now. You're still completely in the dark. You won't be able to save anyone at this rate. What do you mean? I can't save Lizzie? I can't save everyone? That doesn't matter to me. I feel like I can't save Lizzie, because that's the most important thing to me. Yeah. Oops. Lizzie. I had no idea what she was getting at, but since I'd been thinking about Lizzie, I had to ask. You mean I can't save Lizzie? Is that your friend? Yes, my best friend. And you hurt her. Part of me thought we should keep talking. But now that we'd brought up Lizzie, my curiosity had gotten the better of me. Of course. You won't be able to save your best friend either. Why do you say that? What do you know? I like how her face looks a little sad, like, oh. Like she feels a little bad about this. I know much more than you. And if you actually want to save them, you should come with me. I'll tell you the truth. What truth? Stop beating around the bush! Just tell me now! No, I won't tell you so long as you're within these walls. Then Moravia jumped on top of the wall. Wait! I rushed forward, calling out to her. Moravia shot me a quick glance before disappearing down the other side. Here's the thing. I'm gonna guess the little, matrix thing that's the dome isn't, glass or anything. It's like a holographic kind of matrix, because we have this giant wall, right? To keep the outside out, but then, we can see the sky, but that's apparently, not like a dome or anything. Because she can just jump on the wall and jump over. This is not like we have a wall to keep us away from the bears and monsters outside, but the nature is still nature. It's like we can't. We have a dome. This thing's in a dome. So how is she jumping over unless I get the dome is just like a technology dome. You know what I mean? It's not like it's an actual physical dome. It's not a physical dome. You know what I mean? So it's like lasers and shit. So you'd think that they would be able to sense and be like, something disrupted the laser beams that are protecting the dome in this particular spot, and but I mean, like, I guess they can hope over any spot, so it doesn't really help. They're getting in everywhere. But then what was the point of go around checking the wall and seeing if there's any damage? They're just leaping over it, and if you know that the wall... Like, Okay, that's one of those things that I don't really think they thought out very well. Listen, there are some things that I'm like, you get like, but how does that work? And they don't explain it, and they're just like, don't worry about it. So yes, there are some things that they don't really explain, where you're like, there's a big ass hole here with a question mark in it, and we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. Okay. So it's not a real dome. It's like, but okay. Anyway. Wait, did I read that? Anyway, something about rushing forward. I rushed forward, calling out to her. Moravia shot me a quick glance before disappearing down the other side. Okay. I haven't exactly acted the way a member of the Bloom should, but as Lizzie's friend, Moravia's words rang in my head, mingling with my doubts about the commander. The doubt had now taken root in my heart. I need to speak with Mr. Kuromori and just ask him directly where Lizzie is. Oh, I thought we were going to follow her. Mr. Kuromori, are you there? What brings you here on your day off? Are your injuries worse than we thought? Mr. Kuromori was at the academy despite it being closed. At least it was convenient for me, since I had to ask him something. No, I'm fine, but I have a question for you. I'd like to visit Lizzie. Can you tell me where she is? I cut right to the chase, unable to curb my curiosity any longer. Mr. Kuromori grew quiet for a moment, perhaps because he heard the desperation in my voice. I told you visitors aren't allowed at the moment. She's at the hospital, but you can't see her. At least tell me which hospital she's in. I'll let you know when they start taking visitors. Now, you have to focus on getting better. The leg won't heal itself. He's not going to tell me. Mr. Kuromori was definitely hiding something, but I had no clue what. Mr. Kuromori, do you know where Moravia's group is coming from? Knowing that would help us build our strategy. The question was a little out of the blue, but part of me wanted to test him, because he does know. I mean, I feel like we kind of figured that out. Like, well, the higher-ups know. He might be in the dark, but I would assume if the higher-ups know, because they're like, hey, people turn into vectors, we kick them out into Tau, then they know where they're coming from. You know what I mean? And his answer proved what I already suspected. Of course, we've been investigating that. We've sent people to the outer wall in the business district because of yesterday's attack. He's lying. There weren't any of our people there. If there had been, they would have seen Moravia come over again. And now, if that's all, you should return to your dorm. I still have to go talk to the higher-ups about some things. I mean, I kind of understand, like, the not trusting him. Like, we know that he is trustworthy. Like, I mean, I feel like again, the game could be bamboozling me. I have trust issues now because of games where I'm like, look at this lovable idiot! What do you mean you were bamboozling me the whole fucking game? You know what I mean? But I think he's a good egg that actually wants to help us, but he's also in the position of, but I can't tell you things. I want to, and I want to help you, but I also can't. You know what I mean? He's in the gray zone. You know what I mean? Like the girls are absolutely, they will do whatever they need to do, the justice and the right and whatever. And he is kind of in the gray zone where he's like, I am doing shady shit for the higher ups and whatever to keep my position, but I'm also going to do shady shit behind their backs to help the girls out. But I also have to lie to them about stuff. You know what I mean? Which is actually perfect, because then you have situations like this where she's asking him, instead of being like, look, I can't tell you that, and him being honest, he's just lying. And it makes him seem untrustworthy and like a shady son of a bitch, where, as opposed to just the fact that, like, he can't tell us, he's probably been told not to tell us, or he doesn't think it's information that he wants to, you know what I mean? He's like, I can't break this to you, I don't know how to do it, or I'm not allowed to, type of a thing. And, you know, so it's good. I like it. I understand. I'll just head back then. But my heart was beating rapidly. I kept my expression calm and stepped out into the hallway. My tiny doubts had turned into full-blown suspicion. And I like that because, like, we are so, this little doubt, which is valid to have because he is lying to you. But when you go down, like, the good boys route, you're like, no, he's lying about stuff and like, ugh, God, he's exasperating. But you can kind of understand that he's covering his own ass. You know what I mean? He's worried about his job. Like, he's not going to go like full rogue. You know what I mean? But in this, it's like, she's like, no, I had doubts and then he lied to me and I don't trust him now. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. I like it. I think they've handled splitting off pretty well, for the fact that it's kind of a quick hit game, What was I supposed to believe? I went back to the dorm and thought about nothing else until night fell. If only Mom and Dad were here, I'd be able to talk to them about this. I gotten used to them not being around, so I normally didn't feel this way. I feel like we're not going to find out about Uncle Yashima being evil until, or like on the side of the bad guys, if we don't meet that character, probably until Ibuki or Ryo's realm. And I'd never doubted what I believed in before. I wish I could talk to Uncle Yashima, but what could I even say? It's not like I can tell him what's really going on. If only we could meet face to face, I'm sure that'd make me feel better, even if I still had to keep all these secrets. Then I remembered I hadn't even yet responded to his message from yesterday. I was going to say hadn't even responded, but it said hadn't yet responded, and I literally said hadn't even yet. That was not the game. That was just my brain. I'd feel so guilty if I told him something was troubling me and made him worry, but I didn't have anyone else I could rely on. I'm sorry I didn't write back yesterday. I was injured, but it's not at all serious, so there's no need to worry. But unfortunately, my best friend got hurt way worse. I haven't seen her since the ambulance took her, and I don't know where she is. There's certain people who do know, but they won't tell me for some reason. I'm worried I might never see her again. Maybe that isn't true, but I don't feel like I can trust people around me. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Well, let's see what he says back. The world I thought I knew is crumbling away, and I have no idea what to do. I wish I could tell you more, but there are reasons preventing me from doing so. All I can say is that I'm really worried. I'd like to see you in person, Uncle Yashima, but that's not possible, right? I know that, but still, you're the only one I can trust. I have no other friends with me here. I know I'm being selfish, but I couldn't help writing this. I'm sorry. Since we can't see each other, at least tell me this. I stopped writing there. What do I want to ask Uncle Yashima? What do I want him to say? I'm curious how he's going to respond if we get a response from him in this, because, like, that might tip the scales on whether it's like, yeah, no, that character they show in the opening credits, evil looking, absolutely Uncle Yashima, ooh, bad evil character, or like, okay, he's actually the commander. Like, I liked my theory that the commander was the one who helped the couple run away, and our parents were the couple. Still, that could still be what happened, but I just continue with that, and then, like, he's Uncle Yashima keeping an eye on us. Uncle Yashima could be somebody else entirely, because maybe our parents ran away and pieced out and went to Tao, for all we know. You know what I mean? How I ended up here, I don't know. Maybe, like, Uncle Yashima dropped us here, like, brought us back, and he's actually over in Tao. You know what I mean? But anyway, Lizzie's pained face came to mind, along with Maravia's soul-piercing eyes. I also thought about Mr. Kuromori keeping secrets. I want him to tell me the answer. I don't know what to believe anymore, so I need him to show me the right path. I resumed typing, trying to adequately express the doubts within my heart. Uncle Yashima, I have to make a choice. But I can't do that until I know what to believe in. How can I figure out what I should believe? Although I wrote everything out, every word was filled with anxiety. I'd undoubtedly make my uncle worry. But I was at my wit's end, so I clicked the send button. I want to see what he responds with. Go to the outer wall. Ugh, so bright. How I feel in the morning. The bright lights of the morning sun roused me from my slumber. I never slept since I didn't sleep well the night before. There's birdies on the TV. You can't hear them? You don't care? He's like, those aren't fucking real birds. When I watch people play Final Fantasy VII, and anytime the chocobos are quang or whatever, he's like talking back to chocobos. But he won't talk to the birds on the TV right now. Like, it's so funny. It's really funny who you try to talk back to. The academy's still closed, so there's no reason I can't sleep in. That was not nice, you bit me. sleeping more would just make me feel down, so I rolled out of bed and went to my computer. A new message was waiting for me. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, hold on. It's from Uncle Yashima. Who else would it be from? He's the only person you talk to. Your other friends are dead. You only had one other friend, and she's dead, basically. That's horrible. I mean, I leapt to my desk chair and hurriedly opened the email, desperate for his reply. First, I want to say that I'm relieved you're okay and your injury wasn't serious. I understand you couldn't reply immediately. Okay. I can see you're terribly distressed about your friend since she was hurt and you can't visit her. As you said, this would be the best time for me to see you and offer my support in person, but unfortunately, that's not possible. I'm truly sorry, but at the very least, I'll endeavor to answer your question as best I can. So I definitely can't see him. Not yet. Although I already knew that, I couldn't shake my disappointment. We're gonna see him. There's no way you're gonna make this character exist and then never explain who the fuck he is. But as I continued reading, those feelings vanished. It's difficult enough to figure out what you believe, but even more so if you don't know who to believe. There will be times when you believe in someone and the outcome isn't what you want. But you shouldn't blame the other person. You chose to believe in them. You can't blame others for your decision. Well, that is so generic. I mean, it's valid, but it's one of those, like, it's so generic where you're like, I can't tell now if you are like an evil character who wants to lure us into town, you know what I mean? Or you're the commander trying to cover his ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's so on the fence right down the middle that you're like, oh, I don't even know. Damn. If you decide to believe in something, then examine those feelings in earnest. If you can truly face yourself, in the end you'll see what you want to do rather than just what you believe. What you actually want to do is what you should believe in. You won't regret your choice if you think it through carefully. That's kind of like, I mean, what I kind of like about this character is like how generic the answers are. And because they are very like, you need to analyze and come to that conclusion yourself with all these fluffy, but it's not like, okay, if it is a secondary, like, bad character on the bad guy side, right? You think they'd be like, oh, yeah, no, it sounds like the commander's being evil, and they're going to say something or do something that's kind of lure you to the dark side, right? But if it's the commander, you know, he'd be like, you know, sometimes people have to say things and they can't always be honest because they're covering their asses, you know? But it's such a very non-specific answer that it's leading you to make this decision on your own. Like, listen, I can't make that decision for you. You're going to have to analyze and come to that conclusion on your own. And it's very so, like, neither side, which is interesting because, like, I feel like Uncle Yashima is going to end up being somebody on some side of this as opposed to just and not somebody who has no stake in anything. You know what I mean? But the answers are, I have no stake in anything. I am sitting in the middle and I'm just going to see how this plays out. And I'm going to give you the most generic answer to see which way you fall. I'm going to shoot it right down the middle. I'm not going either way. You know what I mean? And like, so it's really intriguing. Because like, I was like, oh, I want to see this answer and see if it like makes you go, oh, you know, that's something that the bad guy would say. But like, you got nothing. Nothing. I mean, I would say that Uncle Yashima probably only has our best interest at heart. Because whether they're a good person or they're an evil person, like, we're some kind of something special. So they're looking out for us at any rate. So they're not 100% evil. And honestly, the bad guys, why are they evil just because they don't think what people are doing to Vectors is right, you know? You know, you can look at it either way. Like, yes, Vector's attacking and then we're attacking them, but that's why they don't tell the girls what they're doing. Or even if they know, it's like Vectors are attacking, we gotta stop other people from turning into Vectors. But this wouldn't have happened if they treated the Vectors like, okay, you know what, let's create a colony for them, but that's not run down and destroyed, so that, like, they don't hurt other people and we don't, but they probably did this with their science experiments, you know what I mean? It's like the Android Uprising. We created them, and now they're pissed! What I really want to do, I've fallen into a cycle of doubt, but But the scales fell from my eyes when I read those words? I realized it had been too Yeah, okay, no, it is. I realized it had been too pessimistic to think I couldn't believe in anyone. That kind of attitude wouldn't solve my problems. And wait, there's more. I thought that was the end of the email, but my uncle had written a little more further down. I want to say one more thing. I said you shouldn't blame someone for betraying you if you put your trust in them, but I sincerely hope you won't have to go through that at all. I pray that you'll find someone you can truly believe in. Thank you, Uncle Yashima. Every word conveyed how much he cared. He was usually like that, but perhaps it came across stronger now because of how vulnerable I was. But now's not the time to wallow. Uncle Yashima's right. I need to determine what I want to do. I closed my eyes and tried to listen to my heart. I found I already knew the answer. Find Moravia. I want to see Lizzie. She might be hurt and locked up somewhere, and I need to help her. I'll make sure I get to her this time. Wow. And to do that, I'll meet with Moravia, too. Ooh, knew that. I need to try and find Moravia. Go to the outer wall, search the town, search everywhere. I think go to the outer wall. Oh no, search everywhere. Alright. I can't seem to find her. I searched all around the academy and business district to no avail. Now I was tackling the residential district. I would have asked how to contact her if I knew she'd be this difficult to find. I thought I should give up, but just as I was about to leave, a cheerful voice rang out through the otherwise dismal atmosphere. Yukonami? Found ya! Oh, look at the little CG. He's kind of adorable. Listen, you know he's goddamn trouble. And he's a brat, probably. And too adorable for my personal taste. But he is adorable in his CGs. You gotta give him that. Like, the CG art is good. So, I recognized the voice, which was coming from atop a destroyed train. Yukonami! I was about to accuse him of wreaking havoc again when I realized that what he said didn't quite add up. Were you looking for me? How did you even know who I was? I haven't transformed. I never undid my transformation during our battles, so how did you know I was part of the Blooms? I heard about it. You heard? Yep. Yeah, I don't care about finding you, but Moravia insisted. Come on, let's go. You want to see Moravia, right? Wait, I do, but only because I want to help Lizzie. She's my best friend. I need to know how to save her, so please let me speak with Moravia first. What's a best friend? I don't get it. Someone who's important to me. I'd do anything for her. So please, tell Moravia... Now you want to see her? Look, I'm only here because Moravia told me to be. I'm not going to run your errands. I bit my lip, expecting our negotiation to fall through. But then Yukonami sighed with resignation and took out his phone. This is a real pain, you know that? But since I found you, I have to call her. I'll get yelled at. Look at his little pout. So cute. Hey, I found her. Yeah, she wants to meet. So I just tell her you'll save her? Okay, got it. Okay, so what did you call her? Best friend? Moravia's gonna save her, so you can just come with me to the outside. Really? But wait a minute. Outside? You mean outside Theta? Of course, that's where Moravia is. I don't care what has to be done as long as Lizzie's okay. I want to thank Moravia if she helps her, but I won't go to the outside. An amused expression crossed Yukonami's face. Do you really think you can stay in Theta after this? I'll accept any punishment for seeking your help. I know they might not forgive me. That's not what I meant. Your best friend or whatever could have already turned into a Vector. A Vector? What are you talking about? I froze upon hearing those shocking words, which Yukonami apparently found hilarious. You seriously don't know anything. Anyone attacked by a Vector turns into one. Wait, then that means Lizzie... Moravia said she'd save her, so your friend might still have a chance. In any event, I've changed my mind about you. It'll be fun to have you around, so you're coming with me no matter what. And that's that. Yukonami's words filled me with dread, and for a fleeting moment, I had no idea what to do. I can't just stand here forever. I made my choice, so I have to follow through. My own decisions, Lizzie's safety, the fact that I'm going with the enemy, it's a lot to consider. But I can't stay stuck in the same place. Little by little, I began to relax. There's no turning back. I've made my choice, and I have to keep moving forward. Over here! We can get out of the colony this way. Just a second. If we're going outside, I need to transform. The Bloom has made it very clear I should never leave the colony without transforming first. There, that should do it. Huh? Yukonami watched me transform with a curious look on his face. Apparently, he didn't need to do anything before going out. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but wow. He's really going outside like that? I had no further doubts. Yukonami was an unusual being, to say the least. Look at his little adorable face. Anyway, look at the song that he's singing. I actually wanted to scroll up, so we're in Yukonami's route. Now, because like there's no other choices that are in the common route. Because I was like, let me scroll up, because now that we've made the search everywhere choice, that I figured was like what kind of pushed you into like it, because we ran into Yukonami. So choosing one of the other options will probably push us into Hyuga, and then the other one would be Moravia, I would assume. So I guess the outer wall would be Moravia. Anyway, but I'm gonna wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.